And hello, everyone, and welcome to the Product Showcase. Thanks so much for tuning into this session to learn more about geospatial work management. From a logistics perspective, we do have someone monitoring the question bank in GoToWebinar, so please feel free to add your questions along the way. We'll have someone responding to those in real time. And then at the end, as time allows, we'll also take some of those questions live. But let's go ahead and dive in. So as you've heard from earlier sessions, at the highest level, our focus is on bridging the gap between the office and field and spanning across a variety of industries with workflows such as maintenance and inspections, capital infrastructure, so of course that's highways, bridges, and tunnels, and then also focusing on things like facilities and asset management. For our time today, we'll take a deep dive into inspections and maintenance, really honing in specifically on use cases for electric and gas utilities. So let's talk about inspections. Customers continue to tell us that they need a better way to manage just the sheer complexity of so many disparate tools, systems, and manual methods that they use to perform and document their inspections. So most of these methods typically include a field contractor physically hand drawing a map to identify the inspection location and information, and then scanning that map and saving it as a PDF. Someone in the office then would have to redraw the map and manually enter all of that data into a system of record. And the length of this process, from performing the inspection in the field to actually getting into a system of record, can take weeks. So as you've already heard from the discussion with Russ and Lincoln earlier today, our customers are not only able to shrink time down from weeks to hours, but they're able to significantly improve safety with an increased end-to-end inspection rate. So how do they actually go about achieving that? Well, as a first step, they upload all of their GIS and asset data into Unearth so that they can have a single platform to centralize all of their data between the office and the field. But centralization isn't enough. There's also a need to standardize all of those workflows and processes across field teams and the office. And because we've created Unearth to be completely flexible and customizable without any back-end development work, you can also tailor the software to your very specific data schema and way of working. So another challenge we continue to hear from our customers is that when they try to roll out new technology, they can never get their field crews to adopt it. So that ability to customize the tools in Unearth ranks just really high in terms of overall list of priorities for field adoption. So now, what does that new inspection workflow look like today? Job packets are assigned to service contractors directly in Unearth, and then back in the office, they're able to monitor the status of those assignments and changes to their assets. So then the field teams can use their mobile apps to access Unearth and update their as-built, and then add that proof of work as a link right within the application. So for instance, what we typically see as a proof of work is a photo or a video of the line that they inspected. And then the office can perform real-time reviews of assets just based on filtering for different status changes. And then if an issue is found, a priority response team can be sent out to resolve the situation, perform a post-maintenance inspection just to prove that those assets are clear of any risk factors. And then of course, if no issues are found, the reviewer is able to approve the inspection and then save that data as proof for long-term posterity. So now let's jump into Unearth to see some of these inspection workflows in action, and I will hand it over to you, Jay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's in attendance today. I'm really excited to show off what Unearth is capable of doing with our One Place platform and how geospatial work management is going to help you all to digitize and streamline field operations. So with that, we can actually get started on the demonstration. If you want to pop to the next slide for me. All right, and let's get started. So what we're looking at here is a mobile map of Marin County. This map I created here is on an iOS device, but we do also offer Android support as well. So regardless of what devices are being used by your field crews today, they'll be able to download the Unearth app, log in, and begin completing their work. We designed the field applications with the field in mind, meaning that we made it a very simple and smooth user interface. So it's very easy to filter data, add information to the map, and then again, like Christine touched on, upload and add media to the mobile maps as well. What we're looking at is a vegetation management use case. So we're out here, we're inspecting transmission lines, transmission towers, utility poles, and the right-of-way for any vegetation encroachment that may be occurring and could impact some of our vital infrastructure there. All of the data you're seeing here was sourced from a GIS instance, which I'll touch on later in the web portion of the demonstration on how we get this data into Unearth and then again out into the field. So the first feature I'm showing you here is the layers tool from the bottom left of the screen. That is the ability to filter out different sets of data that you might not necessarily need to have visualized during your work. Really just to show kind of the flexibility and customization that you have afforded to you as far as how data is going to be presented on your mobile map. The next thing I'm showing again is some more of that customization or the different base maps that we offer. We have a dark base map, satellite, and I'm about to switch over to this light base map here. What's not shown here is the ability to include additional layer sets like plans, if you have PDF plan sets, or updated aerial imagery using drone surveys. So the next thing I'm going to show you, and it should jump over here in just a moment, is our location services. So what I did was I hit the location button down in the bottom left. Again, you can see it highlighted there with that teal color. But if I were actually in Marin County, I would be able to see my location denoted by this little icon here. So I could understand where I am on a site in relation to my work, as well as the infrastructure that we're inspecting. So I jump back into the site now using the return to map. So if anyone ever gets lost, it is very easy to find your way back to the site and to get back to work. The next feature I'm showing in the bottom right corner is the quick capture icon. You see that camera icon there. What we designed this for was to make it as easy as possible to capture media in the field, whether that's a photo or a video. So you're not having to shuffle through multiple apps. You'll see a flash here in a moment of me snapping a picture, but the goal of this is just to prevent, again, having to jump through multiple systems in order to get media into a site. With Unearth's Quick Capture, you're essentially just snapping a photo of whatever your device is pointed at. In this case, it was the view from my home office, which I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with these days. But if I was in Marin County, I would be able to, that photo would be placed based on its geospatial data that's coming in from that mobile device. The next thing that I'm going to be showing is our custom toolkit. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a few items there. I will expand that so that we can actually look at some of the different items within our toolkits. What custom toolkits allow us to do through no-code customization is the ability to adapt our software to any of your current workflows or processes. So what kind of data you're collecting, requiring certain forms and fields to be added. Just the ability, again, no matter what it is that you're inspecting or maintaining, we can create a toolkit that's going to allow you to do that work. I'm going through a couple of the additional options here just so you can see the scope of this toolkit in question for vegetation management. But what I'm going to show next is the ability to add new information to the map. Very easy to do, with just a button push. I can select an icon that I want to map, whether that's a point like this new tower I've added, or a polygon or a line that I'm drawing onto the map. We make it incredibly easy to add new information to anything that is unmapped. And then again, you can see the custom form that is associated with that asset that I would then fill out. We can also make form fields required so they're not able to close something out. And then again, there's that geospatial data that's associated with it. So the next thing we're going to look at is the actual workflow of an inspection. So in the event I was out in Marin County, I would receive an email notifying me that I've been assigned work in Unearth, and then directly from that, I'd be able to access my site here. You can see, zooming in on the center of the screen, there is that work item that's in question. We'll open that up, and that is to inspect the associated tower there. D602F, and once again we have another customizable form associated with this work item. You can see who the work is assigned to, what type of work it is, and then of course it also has a status assigned to it so that you can track the progress of this work. So what I'm going to do really quickly now is change the status of this icon to in progress. And again, that the color on the map also changed on the icon itself, just to denote that that status change. So it's very easy to kind of hop in and get a quick visual of progress by using status tools like so. The next thing I'm going to show is our comment section. So this gives you the ability to communicate from office to field and vice versa, capturing all of those communications that may occur during work, so that essentially that work log isn't lost. It's all going to be stored here in Unearth against either the work item or the asset itself that the inspection is occurring on. The next section I'll show is going to be the links tab. So what you're able to do in the links tab is associate media with your inspections, like Christine was touching on before, just to kind of have that proof of work. In this case, we have a photo attached to our inspection. Not looking so good there. We definitely have some vegetation growing up the side of our transmission tower there. So again, it's very easy to add media to sites with using our quick capture to get it uploaded to a work item or an asset. So what I'm showing next is going to be the ability to actually jump through, different linked items. So I can actually go from my work order directly over to the asset that's in question. Once again, review its custom form and make any updates that are needed there. But now we've completed our inspection. We've snapped a photo. There's definitely some work that needs to be done there. I want to show how you can initiate a new workflow directly from the mobile application as well. I made the status change to show that it's complete, and once again we have a color change showing on the map there. But what I'm going to do is go over into my vegetation section of my toolkit and add some tree and brush work to the map here. So here we go, we're jumping into vegetation, and we'll add this icon here. So the icons, again, are completely customizable. You can even customize the way they're displayed. So here I'm going to show how you can edit the sizes there. But of course, you can also lock in certain parameters around these icons so they can't be manipulated that way. But now I have added, this new work to the map. All of it's going to be based on its location where the work is occurring. And then again, it has a slightly more complex custom form just to show how flexible they can be. We could set up species, priority levels. Once again, I'm going to be able to assign this work to another field person. So we're going to assign this over to Brian so that he can get out there and remediate the issue as far as that brush growing up the side of our tower. And then again, just showing off some of the more complexities of this particular form. So now that we've completed our inspection, we've captured media for it, now we're initiating this new workflow, again, all from our field application. So no longer are you having to jump through multiple systems. All of it is being done in one place. All of the data from the inspection is being captured here. And then again, you can initiate an entirely new workflow to continue that work going on. So the next thing we're going to show is we'll jump over into the web application, and I'll show how we can review this work now that it's been completed, as well as some of the data management features that we offer in the web app, as far as being able to filter by specific parameters within your toolkit, and then being able to create some custom reports from that. So with that, we'll go ahead and start this portion of the demo. So we are once again back in Marin County, and we're actually in the office now reviewing some of this work remotely. So as you can tell, just like before, we have our map with all of the data that was included in it. That was captured out in the field. You can see where activity has been taking place in the middle of the screen there with some of the icons that have been added. So let's go and review some of these inspections, and let's check out this workflow that we started from the mobile application. So very easy, just click into it from the map. Again, I have that same custom form available to me. I can add any comments, and then I can view all of the links that were made to this work item. So we have the photo that was taken, we have the new workflow that was initiated, as well as the asset that is in question. So again, just creating that complete log of work here, all in one place. So again, we offer the media viewer. We can just pop right in there and see the media that was captured in the field. If you had multiple photos here, you'd have a slideshow view. We also support videos, which I'll show here momentarily on another site. So now that we've reviewed some of that work, let's actually jump in and take a look at how we get all of this data into Unearth. I know I touched on that in the mobile piece that we pulled this from another GIS instance. But how we do that is we consider ourselves data agnostic. So we play nice with a lot of different data types, and we're able to visualize those in Unearth. In this case, we'll actually go through and say, using that no-code customization in that toolkit, I can select, hey, I want to upload some transmission tower data here. So I'll select the icon or the type of asset that I'm uploading, and then I have this add from import option here with its own drop down. I select the file I want to import, and then what you're able to do is actually map the attributes from that existing file directly into form fields within Unearth. so that you can ensure that there's no data being lost there, and all the information that you need is being moved into the Unearth system, and then again available on that field application as well. So the next section here that I want to cover is our activity feed. So what this is going to do is going to essentially capture all the activity that's coming in from the field in real time. It's going to categorize it by when it was captured and who is adding this information. I'm going to expand that into a split view and then go into a full table here. And this is where, one place really takes off. It's going to give you the ability to not only monitor all this ongoing work, but set up a set of custom properties. We're able to filter and create reports based on the work that is occurring. So you can see here we have some common properties that are added, but I can actually go into my toolkit and add as many properties as I would like from those custom forms. So in this case, I want to track by, what the status of the tree work is and who owns that work. And then what I'm able to do is filter out, all of the information I don't necessarily need to see at this time. And I can drill down to what I am trying to report on. So here I want to report on all my ongoing vegetation work. We can see who's adding it. We can see what status it's in. I can also filter by different statuses. Say I just wanted to see all the completed work, I could do so. If I wanted to see all the work being completed by a particular user, I can do that as well. I can edit items directly from the table, so I don't have to go, attribute by attribute. I can actually just edit them directly from the table here if I needed to make some changes en masse. Now, the next thing I want to show is our export tool. So we offer a number of general exports that you can move your data into. We have some spreadsheets there. We also offer a few GIS data sets as well as a PDF map that you can just essentially take a snapshot of your data. What's not shown here is our ability to create those custom templates. I believe we touched on it yesterday, but our data team gives you the ability to create some pre-existing reports that would then live in this export tool. All you need to do is set your table up with the properties you need, and then you'll be able to quickly report on that information, all with a simple button push using our export tool there. So again, we've been able to review this work from the fields. We've been able to filter and understand the progress of that work using the table view, and now we're able to create that report with some of those properties that we've established. So the next thing I want to show is we're going to actually hop out of Marin County here in a moment and go back into our project portfolio. And with this, we'll be able to see how we can manage multiple projects geospatially, understand the progress of projects at a more of a macro level by using those statuses again. So just like in your sites, when you're creating that custom toolkit, we can create a project toolbox for you where you're able to assign different properties to different projects. Zooming out here a little bit just to see how you can see various projects that are ongoing. You can also get an idea of their statuses just by viewing kind of the color schema there. I'm going to jump back into that Marin County site and actually change this one to complete just to denote that we have completed our work. And once again, you're able to zoom in and out and see the progress of multiple projects geospatially. Now, just like in our site, we also offer the list view as well as this table view. So if you wanted to do some macro level reporting, not necessarily on an individual site's progress, but if you wanted to report across multiple ongoing projects, just like we had in our site, we have the ability to filter and set up different custom properties within our project toolkit as well, so that we can go ahead and really drill down to the information that we need, and again, create some of those custom reports that are available to us. We also offer base maps, different base maps like we did in your site. Here I have my topography base map set up. We also offer that dark, that light, and the satellite imagery that you could have live behind it as well. So for the next project, I'm going to go over to this West Seattle sewer site where we're doing a cross-bore inspection. From the list view, I can actually have it just zoom me over to the project. So I went all the way from Cali, now I'm over in West Seattle. Again, I can see the status of this particular project. And then right from my list, I can jump into this project and review some of the progress and the work that's ongoing here. So what I really want to show with this project is how status can be tracked across an entire project. And in this case, we're using these parcel polygons that we imported to track that status. Now, what we're able to do is pull this data from, again, another GIS data set, and then we can immediately assign it a status with our import to asset tool, where we can see, what's not been started. We can see what's in progress, denoted by the yellow coloration, and then we can see where work has been completed. And again, this is just tracking that progress by parcel. You could also assign statuses to infrastructure in your toolkit as well. It's just really, again, we want to fit it to your current process and make sure that it works for you. Now, some of the other features that I want to show on this project is going to be the Trimble integration that we have now, where you can actually view some of the high accuracy GPS, as well as the flexibility of our custom toolkits and forms. So here we've done an inspection of this sewer lateral. We can actually see the path that was taken by our crew person as they went out and ran that sewer scope. Just giving you even more details and insights into work as it's occurring in the field. And again, that is thanks to our Trimble integration that's allowing us to track those movements with our high accuracy GPS. Once again, we have another custom form for this particular lateral with all of the information that we need to collect. We also have the link set up here, and we have a crossbore linked. We have the inspection that was being done on this lateral linked. What we also have here is a inspection video that we were able to upload from the field and add it directly to the lateral itself that was being inspected. So in previous sessions, they talked about sharing information with DVDs or sharing it with VHS way back, or even flash drives. But what Unearth gives you the ability to do is not only create an as-built of your work, but again, associate any and all media that's being captured in the field. And I won't bore everybody with an overly long sewer cam inspection video. I know it's not the most exciting footage, but again, that's just to show off, the ability to create this as-built, and then again, associate any and all media. We have projects, where thousands of videos are being uploaded weekly, and thanks to the AWS cloud, we're able to support all of that media, so that remote workers and for auditing purposes can pull it up very easily without having to go through wait time, spend a week waiting on something to come in. You can just do it all in real time. Now, the last project I want to show, and really the purpose of this one is just to show the size and scope of projects that can be managed using our tools. So here we're looking at a new pipeline installation out in Nevada. Again, it has its own custom properties and forms that we can set up through our project toolkit, but I'm going to jump into the project here. So what we're looking at again is a very horizontal project. So it's going across the entire state of Nevada. So I can have projects ranging from the size of a city block or to the size of a state as seen here. Once again, we had another toolkit that we were able to design for this one on the fly. I was able to do it myself, so very thanks to no code customization, easy to do. But what's exciting with this, and again, managing a large horizontal project like that, is you're able to actually track progress in a number of ways along that project. So you're able to see any and all media that's being uploaded, and again, it's all going to be backed by that geospatial data. We can see how right-of-way acquisition is progressing based on this tool that we've created along the pipeline. We also have a plan set here living over our map. So no longer is it just some of that satellite imagery or that light-based map. I can actually have plans living against it with all of the new data that's coming into the system living on top of that, just as another layer. But again, I can see all task management and everything that's occurring along my new construction here, as well as all of that media that's being uploaded as they're completing their work. So that's it for the web portion of the demo. I hope you guys took a lot away from it. Just really the ability to customize and the flexibility of our tool to manage projects of any size or scope through that no-code customization. So we can bring this portion to the end and bring Christine back on, and we can do a little Q&A if we had some questions coming in from our attendees here.
And thanks, Jay. We've certainly had some great questions come in. So let me just go through some of those. One of those questions was about how do you deal with people having the need to be able to see kind of a big picture perspective, but also be able to see the detail. And so hopefully as you were able to see kind of more of the demo that Jay showed, that ability to be able to see your map, your visual map in the context of more of that kind of tabular table view is really that ability to be able to see both together. So that more digital analog view. Another really great question that came in was, what types of file formats do we support? So we're data agnostic, and we can support any type of file format. This actually is kind of connected with another question that came in just about different integrations that we might offer. So You do have the ability to import or export any type of data. So for instance, as Jay showed, we can export directly to an Esri shapefile, for instance, so you can open that up right within Esri. But we also do have the ability to create any of those custom integrations as well. Let's see here. What are some of the other questions that came in? One was specific to mobile devices and what types of mobile devices we support. We do support both iOS and Android. And let's see some other questions. Oh, there was one about security. So really great question there, wanting to understand what type of security we provide. So Unearth is hosted on AWS, but we are also SOC 2 compliant. And let's see, also related to security, there was another question, I think, about permissions. So wanting to understand if you have the ability to limit or provision different types of sort of permissions or access. So yes, absolutely, you can do that. You can control what information people can see. So for instance, if you want to allocate certain permissions to people in the office versus your field crews, you can absolutely do that. And this is maybe a good one for you, Jay. A question about if I change my process, is it easy to change my workflows?
And as far as, are you talking about like when coming into a toolkit, like if something changes on the fly and you want to edit something on Unearth? Is that, do you think that's what's meant there?
Jay, I think you're on mute.
Oh, I don't think I am. Hey, can you hear me now?
I think you're still muted. So I'll go ahead and take it and answer it. So again, the question is, if I change my process, is it easy to change my workflows? And the answer to that is yes, it absolutely is. So as we've kind of talked about before, everything that we've created is flexible and customizable, but it doesn't require any back-end development work. So it's something that we can easily work with you to be able to change any of those custom toolkits that Jay showed within his demo or anything else related to your data.